What is going on, everybody? It's ZachMichael here, and today we are going to be breaking down how I create my hi-hat patterns and how I make more complex, interesting sounding hi-hats. But first, we're going to create the melody and make a whole beat around it. So if you guys do enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe and check out TheZachMichael.net. So we're going to go ahead and make this beat in G major. So we're just going to go ahead and put the scale up there. And I think we're going to make the rhythm be 148 as far as the BPM goes. Just because that's a good one for hi-hats that I use quite a lot. We're going to build some chords out. And we're going to go ahead and render this out. And we're going to reverse it. And we're going to use that as our melody. So we're going to go ahead and paste that into the sampler here. And we're going to flip it. Now we're going to go ahead and put this on a mixer track. And we're going to filter it. Just like that. There'll be a lot of room for an artist vocal on the top since we're going for that very like OVO, Drake, 40 sort of vibe almost, where we just take a lot of the highs out. I mean, usually they do that more on the actual drums, but we're doing that on the melody in this case. And so let's just go ahead and get started here. Just get the basic drum pattern going. Go, we'll use this 808, boost it so it's louder. Alright, so that's our 808 bounce, and we're just going to go ahead and get all of these. That. Go ahead and use a Lion King 808 kick to go with the 808. I'm gonna just boost that a little bit. I'm gonna use this perk as a hit. I'm gonna pitch that up a little bit. Yeah. Alright, so now on to the important part of the video. Today, we're going to be breaking down how to make complicated hi-hats and make your hi-hats that sound good. Now, the secret to this is you want to make hi-hats that the artist will still have room on, because some people make really complicated hi-hat patterns that then can't be wrapped over. You can't put a top line on them. And when you do that, you end up creating a problem, and they just end up clashing with the rest of your drums, and it makes it impossible to turn your beat into a song. So the way I usually start my hi-hats is I'll do a two-step, which is simple. And sometimes the two-step works, and sometimes it's all you need. And I have a bunch of placements where it is just a two-step hi-hat, and sometimes it's all you need. And sometimes it's even simpler, where the pattern is just something where I just like remove a couple hats. Sometimes it's that simple, and there's nothing wrong with keeping it simple. But let's say you want to go for something more complex, which is what we're going to end up showing today, but you still want to have room for the artist. One of the things that I like doing is having there be some stutters between my kick 808 and a lower hi-hat pattern. So I'll create like little low stutters. So you have something like that. And if you can hear the 808 and the kick with this, they kind of play on the offbeat, and sometimes they'll play on with the actual kick. And that just creates a bit more groove, and you just turn down the velocities on those so that way they're not as loud as the main hat here. Another misconception that hi-hats that a lot of people don't realize is play with the pitch of them. You don't always need to have your hi-hat on C. Sometimes it's cooler to have it like higher up or slightly lower down, depending on what you're doing. And for different sections of the beat, feel free to do different stuff. So like maybe I'll have a section of the beat where all the C notes are on G, and so now it's lower. And then I'll have some where it's on C, so it's higher. You can do that to differentiate your hook and your chorus and your bridge, your pre-chorus and your verse very easily. And it's just like an easy way to have transitions in your beats. But the next thing we're going to talk about is rolls in your hi-hat. Let's say you want to put some rolls in your pattern. What you got to keep in mind with rolls is when you're making hi-hat rolls, think about them as if a hi-hat roll is a perk and where you'd put a perk in your drum rhythm. And if it would make sense to put a roll there instead, because you can do that. So like I might put a perk here, but instead I'll put a roll. I would probably put another roll here, but then sometimes what I like doing is a roll that looks like that, where I'll cut the last 4, but it's still fast. Sometimes I'll do little things like this when it comes to, doing some lower pitches just to create, some like transitional phrase essentially between. Sometimes I even remove the top ones there. I really want to keep the pitch as the focus. Another thing you can do is play with the velocity of your rolls. So I'm just going to drag down all these notes so it sounds like this. And so that's if I want it to go down. I can also flip it. I want it to go up. We're going to have it go down. And we can also play with triplets as well. So what we're going to do for our pattern here is something like this, I think. Just turn on the velocity on those. And that's going to be the hi-hat pattern we use in today's beat. You can also mix in open hats into your hi-hat pattern to create more unique patterns. We might actually do something like that by having the hat stop there. See? So the hat will cut and this open hat comes in. So that's just some techniques for hi-hats. On my site, I have a bunch of hi-hat MIDI kits just all ready to go, like if you don't want to create your own patterns. And sometimes you can just drag those in and then tweak them to your liking, and sometimes that's all you need. And I have a bunch of beats where I do that, and I have some for drill hi-hats and traditional like trap beats as well. So just like depending on what type of music you're making, there's all sorts of patterns in there. And there's some that are good at slow BPMs, fast BPMs. Like it's really all dependent on what you're trying to do. And there's just a lot of options in there. So those kits are available on my site, but we're just going to go ahead and arrange this. That's going to be our hook. And now for the verse, we're going to have a section where it's just this going. And then in this middle part, we're going to get rid of the top part and just let those bass notes play out. Finally, we're going to have a section where this is pitched down to G, like I was saying, use that as a transition part. I have a bunch of songs where I use that as a transition part. It just makes it very easy for an artist to know when they're structuring out the song with their vocals how to do it. So definitely a helpful thing to do, and that's just some of my techniques to create better hi-hat patterns. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and check out elizabethrecords.net. Thanks for watching. Head on over to elizabethrecords.net if you'd like to support me. You can purchase VST expansion banks, drum kits, loop kits, and MIDI kits that'll level up your production there.